What's up, everybody? It's Jesse, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. Instead of reviewing a yo-yo, I'm actually going to be reviewing string. So I figured I would do something a little different to keep things switched up a little, and to also provide a wider insight into the yo-yoing world than just the pros and cons of what generally are good yo-yos. There aren't a whole lot of bad yo-yos. I think so far I've only rated one that wasn't at least a soft buy. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. This is the string I'll be reviewing today is YoyoExpert Contest String. Is polyester string, very soft, but it's probably the most okay string I've ever used. It's not particularly great, and it's not bad. It's just super okay. So we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the pros of this string and some of the cons of this string. Some of the pros, like I mentioned before, it is incredibly soft, very soft, vibrant colors, which I think YoyoExpert was actually very smart about, because I know a lot of players will go on stage with colors that don't really stand out against their clothes or against whatever background they're on, and so that makes it harder for judges to score. It's a pretty lengthy string. I would say it's maybe a little bit shorter than your average kitty string, but that's not really an issue. It's a pretty decent length string, and it's semi-durable. It's not like blueprint string, which will last for way longer than it needs to, but it's also not a piece of twine that'll break in a few minutes. That's not a good example. That wasn't a good example at all. It's not cheap string, is what I'm saying. It's made by YoyoExpert, pretty knowledgeable people. Andre Boulay has been yo-yoing longer than a lot of people have been alive, even. And I'm pretty sure he placed really high in the World Yo-Yo Contest a couple years. I know at one point he got 4th. I don't know if he got much higher than that. But he's pretty knowledgeable about yo-yos. And he was really the foundation for a lot of people's yo-yoing careers, mine included. And so when they produced this string, I feel like they really had contest to get in mind. It holds its slack really well when it holds its shape really well when it's doing slack, as you can see. But my biggest fault with this is it doesn't maintain its tension very well. I've noticed when playing with it, because I actually have a 100 pack that I've been using for a couple months now. Anytime I use it, I feel like I'm adjusting tension a lot more than I would be on my standard kitty string. That's a big issue for me, I think, and it's not as durable as, like I said, some strings. And this is sort of a gray point. It's not necessarily good or bad, but for me, it's a bad point. I don't like it. It comes with the loop pre-tied for you to just go ahead and make your finger loop, and I don't like that. I don't know why. It's just not something I'm fond of. I feel like it kind of takes me out of the experience. But there is one upside to this string, and depending on what your budget is for yo-yoing, it might overshadow all of the negatives for this. And it's inexpensive. I know this 100 pack cost me about $10, whereas a 100 pack of kitty string is twice that. It is $20. So it's definitely, I would recommend it to somebody. It's the kind of string I would recommend, because it's the way it's geared towards contest. It holds its shape very well when doing slack, and I suppose because you're on stage for a few minutes and you don't use the string for very long, the fact that it doesn't hold tension very well isn't a super big issue, because you're not really going to be up there for long enough to ruin the tension. It doesn't need to be super durable because you're only on stage for a couple minutes, but for the time you're on stage, it plays nice, unresponsive on the yo-yo. The string plays quick, it's soft, and it glides over the hands, and it's cheap. So I rate yo-yos on a buy, wait for sale, wait for deep sale, never touch rating system, and I will be doing the same thing with string. This is a buy because it is so cheap that the positives definitely outweigh the negatives, and there really aren't a whole lot of negatives here, just because the string is really geared towards a competitive edge. Now, does it fall short? Definitely. Not always, but in some aspects it definitely does. For instance, it's not perfect for slack. It is, in my opinion, a little too thin. I really like the I've been playing with some fat string lately, and it's definitely a different experience. it's not as durable as might like. And I realize that it's contest string, but if you decide to use it for something else, you're going to be disappointed with how often you have to replace strings and how often you have to adjust tension. And also, it only comes in one color, I think. I only found one color when I was looking, but it only comes in pink, which I don't mind. I like the pink string, but I know a lot of people don't, and that can really be off-putting. But for the price it is, for $10 for 100 strings, you definitely can't do a whole lot better at that price range. I know a lot of really good strings, for instance, Epic strings, which are some of my favorite strings. They're like $1 a piece for strings. So here you're getting 10 strings for every dollar, which is a pretty great bargain. And I wouldn't recommend this above other strings, like ever, but I would definitely recommend it to someone who's on a budget over some other strings, some other budget strings. I would definitely recommend it over any cotton string. So that's it for me. YoyoExpert contest string polyester is a buy, but if you can afford it, get something else. So that'll be it for today's video. I will be posting a video on Thursday, and until then, I will see you guys later. Signing out.